are going to talk about that is becoming a life coach, a certain powerful, life-changing, impactful life coach. But we're going to talk about the 3 stages of success in the business of coaching, because this is a business. We talk about impact first, but in as much as we talk about impact, we talk about that at the end of the day, you should be able to feed off your gift, and you should be able to help as many people in your gift as possible. So number one, I need you to be able to write horizontally. We are going to write 3 words. And number one, not vertically, but horizontally, we're going to write number one, valuable. As a coach, and I repeat this, and I've repeated this so many times, I need us to know that there is nothing like going with the wave, the current wave of marketing and what people are talking about. You know, this is how you sell. When you go through social media, there are so many people selling so many things, and they're selling tips, and they're selling, what are they called? Cheat codes. They are selling checklists. They are selling courses. They are selling all these things. But most of those people that are actually selling, one thing that I have found out is they are selling to fellow coaches. They are telling fellow coaches that, you know what, I can help you make the sales, I can help you market, I can help you get clients, I can help you do this, but they have not built the value themselves to be able to actually give value in this industry. So now I wonder how a person that cannot give value, has never given value, has never coached someone, can be able to coach a coach to get clients. And I will need you to actually give me feedback, because I know that you have seen these things. It's quite a huge trend around that is happening. And so most people are being swept by that, because every coach is coaching coaches. Every coach that has just learned, someone that has never been to a coaching class, that has never been to any mentorship or certification program, is actually out there buying a course in order to teach coaches how to get clients, minus themselves getting clients. So I know that you have seen these things. Now, I want us to be able to be more valuable in the market, and not just be shallow, and not just be swept by the wave, and not go by what the Gen Zs are setting, and not go by the standards of what the world is going by right now. They might call you slow, but that means you have more impact in people's lives than anyone that is shallow and trying to do a course of 1 week to coach coaches to make sure that they get clients, and yet they have never gotten clients for themselves. To coach coaches to make money, and yet they have never made money in their own coaching practice, because they do not have a coaching practice, and so they are copying and pasting, and it is everywhere on internet. This is not our portion. Valuable, that is number one. You become, the stage number one is to become valuable, is to become so certain. It's to really get good. Get good at what you are doing. Get good at transformation. Get good at impact. Get good at, you are a relationship coach and you want to take people from point A to point Z. You are a coach that is mental health coach, and you've been able, firsthand, you have been able to talk to people, and you've been able to reverse suicidal thoughts from some people. Just imagine how much work it takes to sit with a client and tell them life is going to be well, and take them through the stages of mental health, of mental illness, and tell them that, you know, you identify and say you were fine, you were very healthy, but after that you got into a reactionary stage, and now you are reacting, you're speaking small words, and you are babbling, and you are, you know, speaking alone, and it seems like you're running mad, but you are reacting to these situations. But past reaction, there is injury, that now you are injured. In reaction stage, a coach can help you, a counselor can help you, but in the injury stage, you need a clinical psychologist, and you need, you know, you need to go into a rehabilitation center in order to be rehabilitated. And then after that, then you can go into the healing, or you can actually get well. So you realize that this person knows the process, and they can identify. I cannot tell you how many clients have come to me, and I have identified that they're at reactionary stage, and I have told them their symptoms, and they're like, how did you know my symptoms? And I'm I'm like, because I know that you're in the reacting stage. You are paranoid right now. You're irritable. You are displacing anger. You are irrational. You are agitated. You are furious. You no longer sleep. You're forgetful, and you want to isolate. I know that stage because I have been through that stage. I have coached people that have gone through that stage. So when I speak about it, I have certainty that I can help you. There is no one that they can bring into my office that had already poured poison and wanted to commit suicide the next minute that I am not able to reverse that and be able to, just like Hezekiah, be able to tell them that, you know what? Things have changed. You're not dying now. You still have 15 years of your life to be able to live, or 20 years, or whatever it is that God has in plan for them. But that takes a keen eye. That takes a person that has been trained. That takes a person that is valuable. That is, by the time someone calls me today, I was actually meeting a certain young lady, and she was furious. Her parents were actually divorcing, and this parent told me, you know what, you're the only one in Kampala I can see. I don't know, my family is going crazy, and I'm losing my children. My children are calling me monsters. I need your help as soon as possible. I talked to the girl. I remember talking to her for less than, I think should have been 45 minutes. I talked to this girl, and when I looked into her eyes and told her these words and told her that, you know what, you do not have to be in the middle of your parents fighting. You have your own future. You have a vision, a clear vision of your life, and understand how to get to that vision. What must you do now? We set perimeters, we set goals for her. And she looked at me and told me, never in my life, not even my parents, no one has ever sat me down to talk about me or to even be concerned about my future. And she told me, can you be my big sister? Can we have longer periods? Can we sign up for a full year so that I can come back to you every time that I need in order to actually have a stability, in order for me to grow? Now, that takes a person that is valuable to speak to someone less than 20 minutes, less than 30 minutes, and be able to give them to hand them back their lives and the freedom that they longed and the kind of deliverance that they are looking for. That is why we are people helpers. So be valuable, get really good. Get really, really good. Number 2, we go to the visibility. After being valuable, then we want to be visible. Because we cannot light a candle and put it under the bed. We light a candle and put it on the mountaintop. Now, what visibility does, the moment you are visible and you have the value to give, just imagine that combination and that combo. Because then you're not just visible by putting your pictures and poses and saying, guys, oh, this is my name, and in case you want to sign up, what should we sign up for? Right now, when you come, you're giving us stories about your life. When you come, you're giving us stories about how you can help me, about my situation. You actually understand it. You have researched it. You know exactly what to speak. You know my language. And so it's so easy for me to trust you. Why? Because you have the value and now you have the visibility. Visibility minus value is fraud. Visibility minus value is fraud. And how do we become visible? We become visible by marketing. We can become visible by content. And we talked about that. Pretty Brainy Wife took us through the content creation, which platforms we must be on, according to what temperaments, and all that. And that video is going to be available for sharing, especially for the people in diaspora and for the people that are out of the country. Italy, I know we have people in Italy, US, UK, and Dubai, yes, and so we'll be able, and South Africa will be able to share this this week. Actually, I'll be able to send it to you. So visibility comes with marketing and content creation. Okay, and then what kind of content are you creating? If you are not valuable, just imagine the other coaches that I told you. They are talking about coaching coaches in order to make more sales, okay? And they do not have any coaching practices. That means they have visibility, but now they are copying from every coach that is coaching coaches, and now they are selling air. Okay, some of them are even fraudsters. Some of them have gone ahead to create the visibility, and when a client signs on, they actually don't know what they are going to do for the client. And now they are at the crossroads of deciding, what exactly am I giving to these clients. Number 3, we go from value, we go to visibility, and we go to valued. Now, valued is when someone values you and gets into their pockets without you arm twisting them, without you manipulating them, without you using so many tactics, and they are able to pay for your services because they value your services. So you go from being valuable, creating the value, being certain about what you have to offer in the market, to creating visibility and saying, okay, building a brand is in the visibility where you say reach and being able to keep my promise. I want to have a bigger reach. I want to be on the social media platform. I want to sponsor this. I want to be on TV. I want to be on radio. I want to speak to as many women as possible. I want to speak to as many men as possible. But again, I must be able to guard my reputation, because my reputation is the delivery system, is where I deliver my promise, is where I have the integrity, is where I keep my promises. It is where I show up. It's where I am consistent. It is where I'm helping people as much as I can, and I'm not just looking at the money. All right. So that there you have it. The 3 stages are: number 1, being valuable. Create that certainty. That is what we are doing in this coaching practice. We are doing all the 3 phases. We are creating the value in ourselves, being certain in the fact that we can help the people, and then we are creating visibility and creating our brands, and then we are getting into the marketing and being able to position ourselves in a way that our seekers can be able to know us and know that we have the services and come to us and be able to build businesses out of them. All right. So I need you to be able to, because most of us are usually, so many people have gone through this mentorship and they have told me, you know what, I have fear of visibility. I really fear. I don't know when I show up, what must I say? What am I telling people? And this is what I usually tell them, that what cures fear of visibility is creating enough value or being valuable, making yourself valuable. The moment you are valuable, then you show up as the authentic you. You must not copy from anyone. You must not show up like anyone. You must not, you are yourself. You have the value, you have the burden that you want to help women, that you want to help people in relationships. You want to help people in, let me say, in the insurance sector. You want to help people in the marketing sector. You want whatever sector it is that you are helping them with. You have the value, and so you are overflowing. It's coming from inside of you, the abundance of your heart. You're speaking from the abundance of your heart. But the moment you're speaking from the abundance of scrolling and looking at what others are doing and copying the same and doing it, that means you are going to be very fearful. That is why you will take 2 hours to create 3 hours to create content. Even when you're creating the content that has visibility, you realize that you will not be as stable or quick or swift as it should be. But you realize that so many people are going to be waiting on the other side for that kind of content. So that means you have so many people that are waiting. They want to learn, they want to grow, but they cannot grow for as long as you are not giving them what you are supposed to give them. So do not copy anyone. I want you to be as authentic as possible. And I want us to run very quickly today, because if I go through model by model, for those of you that will come on Friday, we will go through every one of them segments. But here we are going to just go through that. And I want us to be able to look at the business model of coaching. Okay, I want us to look at it and what it entails. I'm equipping you with this so that you can go and recreate and be able to think about your own, where you are and what you must be able to do. All right, so let's go to the coaching business, and what it entails, what you actually need for the coaching business. All right, there are 5 things that we are going to talk about. So let's go. Number 1, If for those of us that are writing, number one is the certainty. We have talked about the certainty. So we're just going to talk about everything that you need in the business module, because the modules have changed so much. Okay. Number two is the content. Okay, we have talked about that. I'll keep screaming this and screaming this, because there's no way you can create one without another. You need the certainty. That is the value. You need the content. That is the visibility. You need the conversion. All right. Now, the content must be able to grow to a level where you can convert, and that is where you are being valued. So you realize that it all translates into the same. You are being valued. So people are saying, okay, how can I work with you? How can I come to your event? How can I book a one-on-one coaching call? How can I join your group coaching? How can I, whatever it is that you have to offer, there is conversion rate. People are willing to come and become clients out of the content that you are creating. All right. And then in the conversion, we convert only by conversations. And that is number 4. Having real conversations with real people to understand their problems so that you can be able to address their problems. That is number 4. Conversations. Have conversations with people. Have conversations randomly. Talk about marriage. Talk about, I have done this in my own life, and I have random conversations, or I used to have random conversations with people. But even in office, even with my business partners, even with my husband, I would bring up any topic, or anyone would bring up any topic. I would take their view. I would understand how they look at things. And they usually would tell me, but for you, you love arguing about relationships. But for you, you love arguing about marriages. Little did they know, and little did I know, that I was actually gathering information, conversations. And so I learned a lot, the male perspective of relationships, the male perspective of marriages, the female perspective. And so when I come into a coaching session, people know that, by the way, this is exactly what is happening, and let's get as much value as we can, so they know what to expect. All right. So for those of me, the topic, that is Juliet, pardon, to the topic. Okay. Now this is the coaching, the business of coaching. Okay, the business of coaching. We are categorizing it so that we will know what is needed, and then we will talk about the components, and then we will talk about the variables. Okay, but right now I wanted us to understand what it entails, so that we can be able to mark ourselves and say, where have we gotten? Have we gotten the certainty? Are we creating the content? Are we converting? Some of us have started having clients, or we've been actually handling clients. You're already at conversion. Some of us have already had these conversations over and over, and now we know what we are dealing with. Some of us have already had clients. So you realize that it's a cycle, and it keeps moving, and keeps moving. All right. And I know that this platform is actually warning. It's giving us, all right. Okay. I think there is a problem with my card. I will be able to rectify that after this, but I think it is warning. So in case we log off, we come back on the same link. Okay. Juliet is saying, let's go to Google Meet. No. Let's go to Google Meet. I have recorded this, but I don't know, for whatever reason, they're telling me that it's malfunctioning. I've had issues with my Zoom. I think either someone tried to hack into it, and so it's been quite malfunctioning, but I can see it's recording. So we will get this recording anyway. But in case we log off, please, let's make sure that we log on the same link, because if some of us want to go to Google Meet, it's going to be a whole lot of trouble for us to shift to Google Meet than to come back to the same link. Okay, so if you're with me, please, I need to see some messages in the chat box so that I know that we have gotten this. Just in case we need to move, we log on to the same. Okay, please. Okay, we log on to the same link. All right, thank you. I needed to know that. Okay, so for those of us that are creating certainty, the content, thank you so much, Julie. It's going to be so hard to switch to Google Meet when we have been here. And for those of us that are here, you tell the people in your group to actually log on using the same link, all right, when it gets off. I hope that we are able to get that. All right. Oh, thank you so much, pretty brainy wife. Yeah, I've seen your message. All right, so let's go to the components that we need. Now, these components that we need are components that we can get as we go along. The first coaching business model is what I have talked about, the things that you need, that you can start working on your business. You can start booking clients. You can start for as long as you have certainty and say that, you know what, in relationships, I know what problems, I know my seeker, I know what problems they are going through. I have the messaging. That is why I'm creating the videos. That is why I'm creating the posts. That is why I'm posting out there. People are getting back to me and it's touching someone. That means I'm not out of reasoning with them. We are on the same chapter. People are asking me, how did I know about their issues? We are on the same chapter. The fifth one is clients. Okay, so we have certainty, we have content, we have conversions, we have conversations, and then we have clients. All right, there you can operate a business. You don't need anything else. The components that we are going to talk about, those are additional components that actually get you into acceleration. All right, they get you into acceleration. And let me tell you, certainty is so huge. The moment you are comfortable, in your skin and you know that, you know what, I can deliver, I am wise, I have been called for this season, I have read whatever I have read, I have researched just to add on to the burden that I have. The burden that I have cannot let me sleep. So I want to find out, where are people lacking in their marriages? Where are people lacking in their relationships? Where people are lacking in their businesses? I want to be able to be the answer. And so you're able to be very certain. It's like when you go to an exam. Do you know that some of us have gone into exams without certainty and we're like, we never read anything, so I don't know whether I'm going to understand anything, but let me go anyway. You don't have certainty. But some of us have gone into exams where we are like, I certainly know for sure, I know that, by the way, I'm actually going to make it. I mean, they can't ask anything outside of what I have read. I have tried to read everything. So I know that my mind will be able to retrieve this. So the comfort, the certainty, the coolness, the calmness, the collectedness with which you enter an examination room is the knowledge that, by the way, there is nothing that can defeat me. So even when a client comes before you and they are speaking, you're not formulating answers. You are listening to them. You are prompting them, you're asking them the questions, you are repeating after them to understand if that is exactly what they meant. You are involving them in coming up with options and solutions for their lives, and you are creating a vision, you're creating a goal, you're moving them to the point where they want, but you're asking them, what must you do? So that means you are not supposed to be the almighty, the all-knowing, but you must be able to have authority and certainty. I told you once that if you go to a salon and you're a lady, even if you're a man, you realize you don't want just anyone to touch your head. You want someone that has certainty of delivering that service. When you go and say, I want to plait pencil, you want the best. You will even ask, who is the best in plaiting pencil in this salon? And then when they say, so and so can try, you're like, no, I don't want one who tries. I want one who can actually do it. And most times these salons will actually get customers on referrals. When they see someone looking good, they'll be like, where did you do your hair from? Who did your hair? She's called Julie. So they'll be like, when I go to that place, I'm going to ask for Julie, and if they cannot give me Julie, I'm actually not taking the service. So you realize people want certainty more than anything in the world. All right, so we are logging back on, guys. I hope that you can be able to okay, we are already here. All right, thank you. You're already back. We are really on the same chapter. I can see that. We are really on the same chapter. Thank you so much for logging back on. All right. And I'm glad that we have come back so quickly. So let's go on for some of us that have been writing and talking about certainty. Certainty is how you're going to be invited at a place to go and speak. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for logging back on. Is how you get invited to a place to go and speak, and you are so certain. You're like, okay, it doesn't matter. I don't know who I am going to find, but one thing I know, that the message I have is going to be life-changing, and I trust trust myself enough that when I get there and I need to tweak and adjust this message, I'll find a way and I'll figure out a way. Some of you are ministers, some of you are servants of God, some of you have done this before. You know that a message can change. You can get to a place and all of a sudden you prepared a message and you know that message is going to hit overhead. No one is going to be touched. And all of a sudden you tweak and adjust to fit the kind of audience that is there. So you realize that you have the certainty that it doesn't matter even if you change last minute, but you will be able to take them to the place where they must be able to go. You know that you're going to deliver value. You know that you're going to deliver help. So certainty helps us, by the way, even in content creation. That's why I said value before, be valuable before being visible. The moment you're being visible without value, we can see. We can see you, okay? The moment you are visible without value, we can see. And we don't want to see that. We actually want to see people who have value, all right? So don't arrive at a scene and you have nothing to give. Everything else falls on being valuable. So I hope that we can create that valuable. Understand your seeker, understand their problem, and in the end, when we are talking about variables, deal with one thing at a go. Do not deal with many things at a go. Some of us, we are dealing with so many things at a go. We want that, and then we want that, whichever. We want to deal with children, we want to deal with women, we want to deal with men, we want to deal with public speaking, and then we want to deal. No, choose one thing, go deeper before you go wider, all right? Go deeper before you go wider. Create certainty before you chase for income. That is how it works. The moment you can deliver that value, people are going to come to you and they are going to be so comfortable. This is why when you create so much valuable, I have gone to places, or I have been in places where I have not even spoken much. Okay, where you will speak for a few minutes and the impact will not equal even the person that has spoken for a full hour. You'll speak for 5 minutes and everyone will say that in the whole of that conference, the person that spoke for 5 minutes made a lot more sense, impacted me than everyone else that spoke the whole day. And you will use the same words that people use, but they will carry so much power because you have dug deeper and you have gone deeper than going wide. You are going specific. So let's talk about the components. I will come back to certainty because certainty is a life changer. Certainty is how you're going to be paid, is how the longevity in this industry, is how you're going to impact people's lives and change people's lives. Let's go to the components. Now, I started creating these components when I had just started, but I will tell you I wasted so much time. At first, I thought every coach must have a website. And so I started by, let me have a website. But I think I wasted a lot of time creating website after website after website because in Uganda, who books your services on a website? Like not so many people. But it was so good. It showed some people that I was really serious about my life when they saw that I had a website and it was functional and it was up and running and stuff like that. But I had to close one website, open another, close one, open another. I would even fail. I would even forget. But it is a component that is needed when you get to a certain level. Where I am right now, I cannot function without a website. Where I am right now, I cannot function without an application. Okay? Because then people need to know how to pay me, especially the people that are not here. People that can buy courses. People that can buy, the small courses, the tiny courses. They need to be able to know how to do that. So one of the components is to have a very simple website. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be a one-pager website. You can even self-create it. You can even create it on Wix. You can create it on Kajabi. You can create it on Teachable. You can create it on Thinkific. Some of us know these platforms, okay? And they are drag and create. No one needs to create for you. They already have portions of sizes. You just drag your picture and put it on. Put in your information. So when people look for you, when you attach your link on Facebook, on X, when someone goes and they can be able to read, what do you have to offer? Who are you? They want to know who are you. The first thing in this age and era, when you decide to speak, when you open your mouth to speak, people are asking, who are you? They want to know who is speaking. What kind of authority do they have? What are they bringing? What kind of, who are they? So they want to know you. So After you attain a certain level, you will need a website. It doesn't have to be complicated. Number 2, email marketing is the in thing that is happening right now. And more people are using it as a backup should they have issues, because some people have lost their Instagram accounts. Some people have lost their Facebook accounts. Now that is for a later stage. When it comes to the components, these are things that can happen later. They don't have to happen now. But I'm warning you and I'm informing you about them, that should time come where you need to have them, then you will need to know what to have. So email marketing is so important, okay? Where you have a group of people that you can be able to offer your freebie, that you can be able to offer your lead magnet, and they can be able to come in, sign up, give you their email addresses, and then you're able to create content in form of like articles, in form like long blog posts, and you're able to, you know, once a week or twice a week, depending on what you want to do, but that is for later. All right. And then social media definitely is something that you really you really have to do. That is part of the components. Social media cannot miss out. Number 4 is the live events. That is Pretty Brainy Wife mentioned about this, and I've mentioned about this so many times. Mr. Asanga, together with the wife, they made their first event and it was successful. So you can actually create events. Charity created the water, the water, is it the water challenge? And it went so well. She got people into her community, and now she has a Facebook group where everyone that had participated is in one group. And so when she's creating and Charity, this is what I'm telling you. If you have a community, create content like you are creating for your community. What would you tell those ladies in the challenge group? What you want to tell them is what you should post on social media, because so many of us struggle and thinking that we should post some things that are enticing, some things that are, no, whatever you feel the need to tell those ladies in your WhatsApp group, bring it on social media. That is the authenticity that we want. Okay. So if you have any form of community and you're talking to them, this is the content that you should be creating, because then this is your seeker. So Charity, you realize you're dealing with your seekers in the WhatsApp group. Whatever you need to tell them, tell it to everyone else so your seekers can actually find you. All right. And then number 5 is the private coaching offers. I sent you a document that entails how to set up the private coaching offers. And whether these private coaching offers in Uganda, I must warn you, in Uganda, people think someone can pay for a coaching session for a one-off and they go. That is what they want. So charge me whether 50,000, whether 100,000, whether 200,000, but I just want the coaching session, and then I will go. Now you will have to create coaching sessions for the one-offs, and then you will have to create coaching packages for the people that are willing to sign for 3 months. It was yesterday. Yesterday I sold a coaching package for a full year, for $2,000. Okay. Now, this is a package where we meet just once a month with this person. It's an accountability package. It's a coaching package. I'm supposed to hold their hands, but we have a call fortnightly, and then we have a meeting session once a month, and that is $2,000. So you realize that there are people that have known. And this person says, I've been following you for quite some time, and now I know that you're the one that I need. Can you break down your packages? And I'm like, okay, I have a one-off if you need an online or in office, or I have 3 months, I have 6 months, and then I have a full year, and each one has a price. Because this is a one-on-one, and so it takes more work and it takes more engagement, more activity, and you need to access me anytime. So it's actually more expensive than the group coachings. So this person is like, yes, I don't want a group coaching, I want a personal coach. Okay, and I'm able to give them that service. So when you create this the private, follow the criteria I give you, create the coaching offers that you can be able. Now this is with time. When you gain the stability, the certainty in this business, then you are able to create those offers, and you're able to have the visibility, and then you're able to people to value you and pay for those services. All right. Now, after we finish the coaching components, I need to still go through with the warning. the variables. I said this last week but one, and I will say it again. Remove as many variables as possible. Don't give too many options, okay? Because people are going to get lost. They will not know what exactly to deal with. They will not know exactly what to come to you with. They will think you are jack of many of many what I forget that word. But you don't need to be scattered all over. All right? Can you choose one thing and offer that? And as you offer it and offer it and offer it, you are going to evolve and grow into others. That now you've started with one-on-one, and you're telling people, in case you have an issue, come to me, let's book a session and all that. And maybe in a quarterly time, you usually have events positioned quarterly. So you realize that is far apart. Jack of many trades, exactly. That is far apart. But instead of saying, okay, I have the event, and then I have the one-on-one coaching, and then I have in one breath. So someone is like, okay, so how do I work with you? I don't know, okay? I don't know how to go about that. So I need you to choose one thing and promote it and talk about it and sell it and invite people. As you create visibility, people are valuing you and paying you for your service. You're creating more visibility. People are paying for your service. You're creating more visibility. People are are paying for your service. You realize that you are evolving, and you can be able to widen, and you can be able, because now you have the stability, so you can be able to handle so many things when they come up as you grow. But the moment you lack the focus and the stability at the start, then I am telling you, it is going to be so hard. You're going to be spread thin, and you're going to be so what should I, frustrated, because there's so many coaches, just like I told you, that are selling programs where they're saying, I can teach you how to coach coaches. So then they're out there, and I've seen so many people close businesses in the Western world, in the US. I have so many friends who have closed businesses. They came as an easy thing. They started throwing content. They are buying content banks, and they are throwing around content. And these content banks are making so easy. It's a copy and paste. You copy from the content bank. But guess what? How many people have bought those content banks? There are over 1,000 people that have bought the content bank, because people are lazy. They don't want to create content. So now they want what has been created for them. Let me tell you, this age and era is promoting laziness at a very highest level. Recently, I just discovered that everything is actually getting spoiled. Food, gadgets, machines, everything is just, people are creating so much convenience. I just discovered recently that when I walk to my car, I didn't know it. When I walk to my car, before I even pull out my key, the car opens itself when it senses that I have the key in my pocket. And so I was like, what is this? What is this craziness? So I'm like, people are creating convenience that I don't have to use a car. I don't have to use a key to drive my to start my car. I don't. I just have to enter the car, press a button, and I'm good to go. And so, I was like, what kind of craziness is this? People are really we are in a lazy generation. So you cannot be a lazy coach. You can't have both. You can't be lazy and be a coach. If you are going to deliver transformation, you must be able to delay gratification. You must be able to be resilient. You must be able, because what are you going to give that you don't have inside of you? Okay? And I'm not saying buying content banks is bad. For me, I'm old generation. Okay? Of course, it's not for me. I'm not going to post content that everyone is posting, because I have seen literally 5 people post the same kind of content, and they're only changing their names and changing what they do and their offers, but the content is the same. And I'm like, okay, so who is selling this content? And it's just not adding, it's not doing anything. It's not showing your authenticity. I want you to shine through your content. I want to look at Tessie, and I see how she's running, and I see how she's dealing with the little tiny humans, and I see how difficult it is. I want to see that. And so I don't want to see a lazy person who thinks that, you know what, I want done for you everything. I know that done for you, and people are reselling courses that others have made. If I sell a course that I have not made, I don't have any contribution. That means I don't own it. That means I don't feel it. So how am I going to teach it to another person? That means we are just teaching people to coach coaches, and for coaches to coach coaches, and coaches to coach coaches, and coaches to coach coaches. Okay, so I don't think that is our version. And when we had the Pretty Brainy Wife, she actually simplified content. For those of you that were there, you realize that the best thing that she did for us was to break down what is possible for us. That even the prompts of you're going to church on Sunday, take a picture. You are having lunch, take a picture. People are not focused. Yes, Coach Molly, people are not focused. They do not want, they are distracted. They are everywhere looking for everything. And guess what? We are following, and this is the other warning I want to sound. Okay? The first warning was remove as many variables as possible. If you're dealing with healing, deal with healing, and we want to see you at it, and at it, and at it, and then you can grow bigger as you go ahead. All right, and then you must be able to create to create visibility, even when it comes to the platforms. Pretty Brainy Wife told us 2 platforms. Choose 2. You can even choose 1 for starters. I chose Facebook for starters, and I nailed Facebook, and I nailed Facebook. And after that, then I grew into others. When I knew that now I have the stability, I can manage Instagram, I can manage X, I can manage YouTube, I can manage, then I added them, okay? But I mastered 1 and delivered. And I even pat myself on the shoulders, and I was like, yeah, I actually in Chikubi, I have been consistent, and I have shown up. And understand where your seekers are. Which platform are they? Because it's possible you want to be here slaying on Instagram, but your seekers are on Facebook. They are much older, and number 2, they are more like community focused and stuff like that. And so they are over there. Their first priority, even if we have VPN in Uganda, their first priority, believe me, is opening Facebook. Well, for us, our first priority will be opening Instagram. But remember, you are not your own seeker. Your seekers are somewhere. So can you know where they are? All right. So even with that, that means we are eliminating variables. Okay. Do not scatter yourself so wide. Make sure that you centralize yourself on 1 or 2. Master those, and then you can widen. We are removing variables. Number 3, learn from only 1, 2, or 3 people maximum. Do not learn from so many people. The moment you have so many people whispering into your ear, the moment you have so many cooks, they spoil the soup. The moment you're listening to so many teachers and so many mentors, they have different philosophies. So while you are engaging with one philosophy, it is contradicting with another philosophy. So that means you get lost. You remain in the middle, in the neutral, and yet we cannot coach in the neutral. We must be able to go all in when we are coaching. So can you be able to not favorite everyone on Facebook, favorite everyone on Instagram? You want to see all their content, and now you are in the content loop. You are scrolling and scrolling. Everyone is speaking sense to you. Remember, now you are their seeker, but you have your own seeker. So can you find out your own seeker? Can you find out what their problems are? Can you speak to their problems? Can you give them the answers and the solutions that they need instead of scrolling the 1,000 mentors? Some of us, we have even favorited them that they will even alert us when they post content. So now you're looking at this person's content and you're looking at this person's content. And then when you think about the actual thing that you should be posting for your seekers, this is what you're thinking. You're weighing it against 5 mentors and 10 mentors. And now you're saying, my goodness, I mean, the world is far. People are putting on, others are on the island, others are, and remember, we are not just following people in our country. We are following people even outside of this country. All right. And so most people, some of them are on vacation. They are saying, you know what, you must self-care first. And so you're thinking about self-care. The other one, you're thinking, but if you do not sell or promote or market your business, then you're not doing anything. Now you're thinking about marketing. Now everyone is speaking into your ears, and you become so paralyzed. Creating content becomes so hard, and even impacting people becomes so hard. All right. And I usually tell people that if you for example, you envision your life, there are people that so many people here are single, some of them are married, some of them having children. The way you envision your life to go, even your choice of a mentor should be one that is actually either living your lifestyle currently or living the lifestyle that you want to get into. All right, it's like having a single person mentoring you, and yet for them, they can stay awake all night doing work. They don't know what the bother is when you have children and how you are all over the head. For example, I am locked in. I am doing this, but I know there is one out there that is screaming. There is one that is saying, "I'm not eating without mommy. I'm not going to bed without mommy." And I'm saying, guys, pause. I am coming back to you. I still have an agenda to fulfill. So you realize that you'll be so frustrated because then you are living totally different kind of lifestyle, or they are not modeling the kind of lifestyle that you'd want to actually get to. Are we on the same page? Do you understand me when I talk about that? That limit your mentors. Choose your mentors wisely. Who speaks into your ears, because then they will make your life easier, your work easier, your transformation, the transformation that you deliver, or they will make it harder. And you don't want anyone to make it harder for you. You want it to be the simplest that it can be in your life. All right. So I hope that we have been able to actually get that. We have the components, we have the business coaching assets or concepts that we are able to do, and then we went through the 3 stages of success in business: being valuable, being visible, and being valued. Being valuable is the certainty, being visible is the marketing and content, and then being valued is the conversion. It is when your clients are paying you the money. But I want to build the component of being valuable. Everywhere you go, let me tell you, being valuable has made me travel nations. It has made me appear before the kings. It has made me, there is a time they came for me at office, and all state house cars parked, and they're like, you know what? There was a lady, she's just from TV right now, and the president wants to see her. And they sent him a clip of what I was saying, and he was like, and he just felt intrigued. He was like, you know what, I would want to chat. I would just want to chat with you, because it's very hard to find people that are valuable and people that are contributing to this country. It's not the first time I've heard about you. And I was like, what? Because I remember arguing with them, Secret Service, and I was like, you're not taking me anywhere. First of all, I don't know where you're taking me. If you're taking me anywhere, I must be in my own car with my own driver, and I'm coming with my husband. I am not coming alone. Because, you get into the Secret Service car, you don't know where they're taking you. It's possible, someone has something against you and they're whisking you away to get lost into a certain, what are those houses, bad, torturing houses that they take people. I was like, no, I am not living here. Yeah, you have explained to me. Thank you very much. But I am living here in my own car, and whatever it is, I'm getting to State House in my own car. But how does that, when the Bible says that your gift is going to make way for you, your gift is the value that you have. The value that you have is going to create people. People are going to create way for you. The other day, I went back to Boyogedede. My growing up, for some of you didn't watch that segment, but I grew up in Boyogedede. That is where I knew we were poor. That is where I knew my life was shattered. That is where I knew like everything was not working out. It was a bad experience. Being accommodated by an uncle who used to insult my mother. And out of that city where I grew up, going to shops to say, you know what, give me this, please. We don't have money, but give us a quarter of posho, give us a quarter of maize flour, because now we have to do porridge. My siblings are going to sleep hungry. Borrowing a quarter of nuts to go and make tea, so that your siblings do not sleep hungry. And I went back to House of Blessing. Let me tell you what I saw in that place. I used to go there for service. I used to go there. They used to see me as a young person. Even the pastor in that place was like, this is our child. The only thing is the grace upon her life has increased and multiplied that we don't know how to call her anymore. That is how she introduced me. But they literally wanted to carry me from my car. They wanted, as in, they wanted to literally worship on the ground I was walking. They, they gave me bodyguards. They were like, no, the church is overcrowded. People were making way for me. People were holding Bibles. People were literally holding my hand, telling people, please do not hug her, do not touch her. And I'm like, Hilda, I was here in this church as a young girl, fasting and praying and believing God to make me valuable, to introduce me to nations. Where I didn't even have what to eat for supper. I didn't even have shoes in my legs. I was in that same church behind. I could not even enter because the rich people were there. There were people in my age group that had it all. And I was the kind who was always hiding, putting on badly, putting on clothes with holes, putting on without shoes. And I'm like, God, I am back to this same church. I told them that coming back to this church is actually nostalgic. And I went there and delivered what God told me to deliver. And it was amazing to watch. But value will take you to places that you have never, it will open doors for you like you have never dreamt before. So if you're thinking about visibility, yes, we are creating the brands and we are creating the visibility. Create the value more. Fortify yourself. Build yourself inside out. Read at night, research at night, pray about it, fast about it. Let there be a special power even when you're going to meet. I pray, even up to now, I pray when I'm going to meet one-on-one client. And I'm like, God, I don't know what's on their heart, the heaviness that they carry. But as they walk into these doors, I pray that will be flipped around. That will change. They will go back happy. They will go back released. And let me tell you, the testimonies that I don't know how to blow my own trumpet. That one is one thing that God failed me to do. And every day I thank him. I'm like, God, if I were to blow my own trumpet, I don't know where I would be. Maybe, I've seen people that can speak about themselves so well. I don't know how to speak about myself. But when I tell you that God has touched lives through my life, that it makes me so humble, that it makes me committed to do more of this work. I would not be here if I knew that this would not work for you. No. I would not be here. I would not give you this offer. I would not avail my time. I would be with my children right now watching TV. I am here because I know there is a value that is on the inside of you. What you need is to nurture it, to give it attention, to give it focus, to stop the distractions, to build yourself inside out. When the visibility comes, when God puts you, when we talk about that God lifts the lowly from the humble places and sits them with the officials, you do not sit with your officials. You do not get into the visibility minus training. You don't appear before royalty without knowing how to use a fork and a knife, without knowing how not to place your elbows on the table while you're eating, without knowing how not to pick your nose while you're on the table, without knowing where to place a napkin. So we are in the process of fortifying ourselves that when we get to the tables with the officials, we will fit right in there. We will not need to speak a lot. Oh, God lifted me unaware, so now I am here to figure it out. No. Let's create the value inside of ourselves so that as we get manifested and revealed to the world and islands and the nations, we have something to give to them, something that is life-changing, something that will cause them to stop crying, that will mend broken hearts, something that will mend dying marriages, something that will change this generation, okay? Something that will turn the world upside down for good, something that will draw the hearts of many back to God, and something that will help single mothers to find purpose again, believe in themselves again. I need us to be that people that have value before we are visible. Okay? All right. I need any questions that we have, or anything that you feel to add, because as I speak, I know that we all perceive this differently, and then we are bubbling inside of us. We have something that we need to add on before we break off because our time is fast spent. Hello? Yeah, Bria, you're saying, I'm so encouraged. Please be encouraged. This is something that, this is a lifetime. This is a lifetime. All right? Okay, very speechless. Claire. Yes, hi.
Good evening.
Yes, Juliet, good evening.
Good evening. The the last part of it was so edifying.
Mm-hmm.
You have told us to like the value.
Yes.
Stop oversleeping.
Uh-huh.
Stop oversleeping, read, research, pray like never before.
Yes.
That is what stood out for me, because Okwesta, see that?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to go an extra mile.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. If we don't have any questions, okay.
Please ask.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much for today's session. It was so, oh God, it's an honor. It was an honor to hear from you. So remember that time on Friday, you asked us to ask for prayer requests, what. So I requested you to help me pray for strength.
Uh-huh.
So on Saturday, God gave me strength, but this time he gave me assignments to use it for.
Uh-huh.
Like God gave me, I didn't know Saturday would end up like that, but Saturday was so long for me.
Mm-hmm.
God gave me the energy. Because the previous days I was weak, like I was weak inside. You know when you can just wake up and you feel your body is weak.
Mm-hmm.
So Saturday I had that strength. I don't know. God gave me a lot of things to do. I didn't see them coming because the way I planned my days and how it went. There are some extra things I had to do. Tasks I had to supervise, take on, make sure everything is in place. So I was really tired, but this tiredness, I'm happy that I'm tired because I've done something. I've done something. Yeah. But now from around Sunday to up to today, like a lot has been happening, and like you told us, we are coaches.
Yeah.
But then a lot has happened. A lot that I have no control over. It involved police cases, and I had to report a certain case to police. You're up and down, supervising, managing things. Of course, this came in. My father, the thing that I wasn't, prepared for. I wasn't ready for. But now you're here. You have to take on that responsibility. You have to be in charge. But then I'm also a coach. I have to help other people. So I kind of has affected my content creation, because you find yourself you can't avoid this, because you have to be there. That's why I get money that you like your day-to-day life and your sleeping and all that. So I'm just kindly requesting, in those seasons you are a coach, and then you also have to make sure you're helping the people you're supposed to be helping. Because today there's a student, this roundtable, there's a student that called me, but I wasn't able to pick up during the bad, because we've been talking. So I said the number. So that student called me at around midday, but around midday I wasn't able to pick up the call. So I called her this evening at around 6, because that's when I've been remembered, I had to get back to this guy, but now the phone is off. So how do you balance this and also being a coach that you have to do? Yeah, because right now I feel I'm tired, I'm so exhausted. This tiredness of inside, like I'm not your strongest soldier. Why do you always have to consider me?
Yeah, but again, just like I told you last time, that God created you well knowing the kind of responsibilities He's going to give to you, and what kind of temperament and kind of what He needed to equip you with. So you were created in the perfect will and in the perfect temperament and with the perfect whatever it is, whoever you are perfect for the assignment that God actually put on your life. All right. Does that mean that it's going to be easier, that you're not going to face any issues? You will actually face any issues. So when you face any issues, does that mean that you should disappear from the scene totally? No, it doesn't mean that you should disappear from the scene. Because now when you come to the visibility, being valuable and then being visible, visibility is mostly like your shop, okay? Where you show up. When you have work and you're employed, when you get problems, do you report to work? You still report to work. Is it possible that maybe your productivity is not going to be as much? Yes, it's possible it's going to be affected, but you will show up and log in, because at the end of the month, I need to be paid, and I don't want them to count a day less that I actually didn't work. So you realize that when you put yourself up to the task and say, I don't do it when I feel like. No. This is not optional. I told you about that in last week but one's message. It is not optional. It is a responsibility, and God is holding us accountable. Because should we not appear and someone loses their life, or someone, as in you were supposed to be in that gap, all right? So I need you to extend grace to yourself. I need to do the self-care that you need to be able to do. And then I need you to understand what is priority in my life and what is not priority. Because sometimes the things that make us overwhelmed are things that are not priorities in our lives. They shouldn't be priorities. And then we become so emotionally attached to things. So when you realize that my emotions make me agitated and frustrated and overwhelmed, then I need to be able to fine-tune my emotions and not just react to anything, but respond. I can sleep over certain things. I don't necessarily need to attend every event. I not necessarily don't need to be a people pleaser and be able to pick up everyone's call. I can be able to say, today, these are the things that I am doing, and if anything is outside the scope of what I am doing, and content creation should be one of them, that at least I should be able, at least one post. And it doesn't have to be too wordy. Sometimes we just need to put out what we feel on our heart, because what we feel on our heart, maybe some other people are actually feeling on their heart. And you're like, this is what I thought about. Create routines from which you can create content. Are you having a devotion? Do you have a meeting? Did you meet a client? Talk about that client, that, oh, we met this client and I know we had this conversation about rates and this is what we talked about. That is content. So create routines, okay? And so even when you are lists, what I do and what helps me is I write so many things randomly. So on the days where I have been so overwhelmed by my tasks and everything else, I know I can go back to my notes and be able to pick one or two things that I can be able to post. And then it goes. And maybe it's a video. I can be able to just upload it. And maybe whatever it is. But a day does not go without something going up. Even when I am overwhelmed, it's possible that my child is admitted, I'm in the hospital, but still you will find something. And definitely when you get to a certain status, you will get to have a social media manager. You will have a whole creative table like I have, and creative crew and what. But before then, you need to be able to help yourself to navigate such circumstances. And I know that we will be able to add on to that. Pretty brainy wife, I need you to tell us on your low days, what exactly do you do? Because we need those. All right. So let's go in this order, because pretty brainy wife, you're also going to respond to that. You're going to add on to what I have said. Let's go David first, and then we go, I think Coach Mole came next, and then pretty brainy wife, and she will actually conclude with a prayer for us. So David, please go. Mr. Asanga.
Hi, Coach Hilda. This is Mrs. Asanga.
Oh, yes, please.
And I'm so glad to be here. Very, very, very glad. First, I want to thank you for today's session, because I have learned so much. And what you are saying, I was thinking about the same during the week. I was thinking that, yes, it's very important. Yes, it's very key to make sure something goes out daily to have the right content. But I was also very keen on what kind of content it's going to be and what kind of value I'm going to add. So I'm so happy that you've emphasized that today. I've learned something.
All right.
It's really confirmed something in my heart.
All right.
And the question that maybe I have is about how you would handle a situation where, let's say, you have been working a job and you've been very excited about it when you have just joined that job and everything looked perfect then. But now, as God is maybe calling you to a higher place of operating in your calling, you now feel like there's this kind of gap, dissatisfaction. So you have questions. You feel like, should I just quit and first focus on this? Can I